And this forever changed America, and especially for those who were there, including Amy Downs. She was working as a bank teller in the federal building when her office exploded, instantly falling 3 floors below her when she was buried under 10 feet of rubble, with only her right hand visible from the mound of debris. Amy was one of the last survivors that was pulled out. Amy Downs joins me now, and she's now a speaker and author of Hope is a Verb, My Journey of Impossible Transformation. Amy, from one Oklahoman to another, I keep saying it, but thank you so much for taking the time this morning. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you for having me. It's
hard to believe it's 30 years, right? I mean, how are you holding up on the eve of the 30th anniversary of the bombing?
You know, it's weird. It feels like just yesterday during these times of remembrance when we get close to the anniversary.
Your story is so chilling. I read part of it right off the top there. You were working as a teller that day, that you're now the president and CEO of, if I have that correct. You had just sat down for, at your desk for your day. Take us back to that moment when the lights just went out for you.
I was working on the 3rd floor of the Murr building. My desk was front and center of the building, about 20 feet from the front glass windows. Turned to ask a coworker what she needed, and I don't know if the words even made it out of my mouth. The bomb went off, and I fell 3 floors. I found out later I was still in my chair, upside down, buried under around 10 feet of rubble. And my rescue was about a 6.5-hour ordeal, and these rescuers were amazing. They risked their lives to save mine.
They went straight to the danger. And I understand when you had fallen, you started to hear voices of first responders, but then, there was that fear that a second bomb was going to go off, and they had to leave you, right? I mean, do you remember that so vividly in your mind?
Very vividly. They found me, they found my hand. I thought they were getting ready to pull me out, and everyone started screaming, "There's another bomb, there's another bomb, we need to leave now." And my rescuers had to leave. And I had about 45 minutes of what I would describe as life flashing before your eyes, thinking that I was getting ready to die.
And I read, too, that you tried to make yourself fall asleep. Like you told yourself, maybe if I just fall asleep, I'll die. Is that what you wanted in that moment? Take us back to those thoughts.
I didn't exactly want to die, but I thought if a bomb was getting ready to go off, in my mind, I thought if I could somehow control the situation, fall asleep, it wouldn't hurt as bad. Or I don't know what I was thinking. I was just desperate for some peace, And then of all the weird things to do, I started singing a song that we used to sing in church when I was growing up. And I felt peace and was ready for what was getting ready to happen.
What memories do you remember of, them touching your hand, them coming back, first responders touching your hand, pulling you out from the rubble, and you seeing the light of day for the first time, not knowing if that was a guarantee for you?
Right. Well, I remember when they pulled me out from under the rubble, looking around, and my first thought was, this is not real. I'm in a movie. It just did not, I could not believe what I was seeing. And then when they put me on the back of a gurney, they took me out of the back of what was once this federal building. I remember looking up at the sky, which was dark and gray. It was starting to rain, but taking that first breath of fresh air and promising I would never live my life the same. I would not take it for granted.
And tell me about the past 30 years since. I understand that you live with survivor's guilt from that day. Is that still the case? And how does the trauma still impact you to this day?
Through counseling, I'm a huge fan of counseling. You learn, how to deal with the PTSD triggers that you may have. And survivor's guilt is certainly something I continue to work through. It's difficult. My 18 and my 33 coworkers were killed. They didn't have a second chance. I'm very blessed. I've had a wonderful 30 years, and not everyone did. So that is something that I have to work through. But I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate to have a second chance, and I take it for all that it's worth.
Yeah. I know you saying you lost 18 of your 33 coworkers that day. I was reading those colleagues had become more like family to you than just coworkers. You were each other's support system and lifeline. And I know that you helped identify the bodies by the clothes they were wearing that day. What do you want people to remember this weekend and to know about those loved ones that you lost?
To not forget. And I think one of the important lessons that everyone can learn from what happened in Oklahoma is the way that Oklahomans, the way that we responded. I think, you've heard the term, you're from Oklahoma, the Oklahoma standard.
Yeah.
Coming together despite your differences. There are times we need to come together and unify for good. And we need more of that, coming together for good.
I couldn't agree more. Lastly, I know you were just saying earlier you were singing a song in the rubble that you had sung in church. What does this Easter weekend mean to you, and how might you be giving thanks at Easter service on Sunday morning?
Absolutely. Well, I'll be going to all the remembrance ceremony and all the activities downtown in Oklahoma, remembering the 30 years. And then Sunday, the day after, I was just saying this morning, it'll be a new day. And that's how it feels for me always. After the anniversary, it's a new day and a day to give thanks for all that I have. And I'm so grateful for my life and for having a second chance.
Yeah, and I know you've taken full advantage of that second chance. Amy Downs, it's a real pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you, ma'am, and really appreciate you sharing your story. I know it must never get easier each and every year.
Thank you.